Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the changes that I've noticed now that I'm out of the fourth trimester. If you can hear something shaking in the background, it's my daughter. She's next door with her dad, so yeah. So I'm out of the fourth trimester, and the fourth trimester is basically the first 12 weeks after you have your baby, and that's the time period where you adjust to all the new changes, even though there's changes all the time. But they say that's the time period that you should allow yourself to adjust to the new world with your baby, and also that your baby adjusts to being in this new space. So yeah, I've wrote down a few changes that I've noticed, and I'm going to talk about them. The first one I would say is hair loss. So I noticed that my edges, so if you're new here, well, not if you're new here, if you're not a black girl, this is a common term in the black community, and we talk about our edges. So my edges are basically the bits around my hairline. I noticed that they were thinning, and they still are thinning. There's a few like bald patches, and I was like, and I know that hair loss is common, like I don't know, I think around like the 4 to 6 month mark. So the rest of my hair is like flourishing, but the edges are just like thinning, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's to do with like hormonal changes. So I noticed that happened around like the 4-month mark. But I've been like putting castor oil on them and trying not to have lots of tension, like my hair pulling back, and hopefully they should grow back soon. So that's the first change that I noticed. Second one, although I said that my edges were thinning, I noticed that the rest of my hair is just flourishing. Like my natural hair is still growing, and I guess I'm still taking my postnatal, well, not postnatal, I'm taking breastfeeding vitamins. So I'm taking the pregnant care breastfeeding vitamins to make sure that all the nutrients that my daughter is taking from me is being put back into my body as I am breastfeeding. So yeah, I think that's what's helping to keep my head of hair full, even though my edges are falling out. Next thing is that I noticed that, okay, it doesn't look that bad here, I am wearing makeup, but I noticed that I'm getting loads of spots, like, and my skin is just not the same as it was during pregnancy. I didn't really notice any changes, and in the first 12 weeks either, but before I was pregnant, or before I was a mum, I had quite great skin. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? I do have a bit of like spots here on my forehead, and I know this probably sounds really superficial, but I'm just talking about the changes that I noticed. But I was like, why the hell am I getting so many spots? I don't know if it's like a hormonal thing or lack of sleep, stress, who knows what it is, but it is a change that I noticed, because as I said, during pregnancy I didn't have any like spots or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to basically do the same thing that I usually do and take more time to like do some face masks and stuff, but that is one change that I noticed. What are some changes that you noticed when you were out of the first 12 weeks after giving birth? Comment down below and let me know. Next thing that oh my gosh, I'm laughing that I put down on this list. Baby no longer sleeps. Okay, this isn't true, but in the first 12 weeks, it was easier to just put her down and do stuff, whereas now she's like noticing the world more, because after like the first, I guess not after the first 12 weeks, but once they get like maybe like I'd say like 10 weeks, they start like noticing things more. So it's hard, and they're awake more, so it's hard for you to actually, or for me personally, to actually do stuff the same way that I did before. For example, before, if I was getting ready, I'd just put her down in the bed, do my makeup, get dressed, whereas now she's like rolling, trying to do everything, get everything. So I don't know why I put baby no longer sleeps. Maybe I was having a hard time there, but baby is awake more. So that's another change that's different out of the fourth trimester. Obviously, the older your babies get, the more awake they are. So I'm not really sure why I put that. I think I was just tired. Another change that I noticed was my breasts no longer leak. Rarely do they ever leak anymore, and I basically thought like my milk was disappearing because my breasts didn't feel as full as they used to before, like engorged, heavy. If you're breastfeeding, you know what I mean. You know that your breasts like leak all the time and they're like lopsided. I still am a bit lopsided, however I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not leaking anymore, is there still any milk in there? However, when you hit the 4-month mark, your body just makes enough milk that your baby needs. It doesn't make any more, any less. It makes just enough to keep your baby fed and happy and well. And when your baby wants to up your milk supply, then they will nurse more, and your body just adjusts to that. So that's why, like, if you, after the 4th trimester, if you don't feel engorged, if you're not leaking, it's because your body just makes enough that your baby needs. So there's not as much excess as there was in the first couple of weeks. And I didn't know this, so I'm putting this in here for any new mums who suddenly wake up, because I literally wake up one morning, I'm like, oh, like, why do my breasts not feel heavy? It's been ages since I've fed. But there was obviously milk there because she was drinking and gulping, but I didn't know about this change. So that's definitely one thing that's different, and I'd say it's a good thing because it means that I don't have like wet patches, which is great, you know, it's great for me. Another thing which has changed for me since I've come out of the 4th trimester is, I dare say that I'm actually adjusting to not having as much sleep. I'm probably going to text my friend tomorrow and be like, I'm so tired, I don't want to be a mom anymore. But I feel like I am really adjusting to not having as much sleep, which I never thought I'd say. But I guess you just get used to it. People say you just get used to it, and you really do get used to it. Like, I guess, I don't even know what to say. I was going to say, I guess after like being disturbed, having disturbed sleep for so long, your body just adjusts to it. Like, it seems impossible during the moment when you're so tired, you're trying to drag yourself out of bed, you can't cope, but you just get used to it. When people would say that, I'd be like, oh, but you really do. So hanging there, you're doing a great job. The last one that I'd like to mention is brain fog. I feel like my brain fog now in the last 5 weeks has been intense, and I don't know if that's like the lack of sleep catching up with me. I don't know what it is, but I just can't think clearly. Like, I go to think of something, I can't remember. Like, I just feel like I'm coasting through the days. My brain doesn't work well, and I say this all the time, like, my brain doesn't work well. And this is something that I've noticed really hit me and changed in the last like 5 to 6 weeks. Like, I don't know, maybe I need to like look up some vitamins you can take for brain fog or something. But it's a scientific fact that mums' brains shrink. And I don't know when it goes back to the same, but I feel like sometimes I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? Because my brain just feels so foggy. So that's not so much of a positive thing, but hopefully as I continue to adjust to this crazy ride, my brain will return to full function. I'm laughing because it's just so hilarious. But yeah, those are all the changes that I've noticed in the 4th trimester. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are in the thick of new motherhood, keep going. You're doing an amazing job. Your baby loves you. Your baby is thankful for every time you wake up to feed her, change her, burp her, or him or her, whatever, if you have a boy or a girl. They're thankful, okay? So keep going, you're doing a great job. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below changes that you noticed after you came out of the first 12 weeks. Bye.